Hey, just wanted to share a couple ideas. I'm on my way home from the first ever New You Life event. I took a red eye back last night, so I'm driving back home from Chicago, and so I'm glad you can't smell my breath or smell me, because I kind of slept on a plane, if you could call it that. But just excited, had a lot of thoughts swirling in my head, and I thought I'd just shoot this quick video to recap kind of the last 48 hours or so that have been just incredible. And while it's all kind of fresh and swirling around, I thought I'd try to make some sort of coherent synopsis of what I just saw out at the event. And so the big picture, and sorry if I'm not looking at the camera, but I'm driving in traffic at 80 miles an hour, so I'm trying to pay attention. The big picture, okay, so we go to this event in LA. I was over 1,100 people there yesterday. There's only 800 people registered 2 weeks ago for the event. And standing room only, literally. The breakout sessions had capacity for a couple hundred people each, so most people there didn't even get into them because they hadn't even planned for it being this big when they planned the event. And half the people there had never had the product yet. So let me recap that. 1,100 people at an event from 42 states around the country. They haven't paid any commissions, haven't shipped any product, and they've hardly had anything you could even call customer service since May. And there was still 1,100 people there. Something's going on here, right? And so the feeling of it, so we can get into some data and information, but the feel of it, which is really very relevant actually. No hype, zero, just intense anticipation and expectation for what's to come. And the caliber of people was kind of shocking, actually. It seemed like everyone there was either an experienced network marketing professional who's made a lot of money, or they were just a business person who's done well and has never done network marketing. In one of the breakout sessions, the master distributor, Joe Giuliano, had people raise their hand if they've never been in network marketing before. And it was almost like half the crowd. He was kind of shocked. It kind of stopped him in his tracks. He's like, I wasn't expecting that. But I think that's the power of this whole story, is it's attracting people that were never going to do this industry, that they know how to recognize what we have, and they can't help themselves but get involved in it. And so I'll come back to that. But had lots of conversations, meeting a lot of people, and just fascinating stories of people who've... one of the people on the team yesterday, as an example, okay, and this is the biggest example I know, waiting in line for registration badges, he's chatting up somebody, just getting to know him. Turns out they have a team right now, 700,000 people right now in their business, and they're here. It's not like they just... Here's what's wild, is these people that were there that are 10, 20, 30, 40 million dollar career earners in network marketing. It's not like they just stuck $59 in to save a spot and they'll see what happens. They're at the event. They're there, right? While they're moonlighting this on the side because they don't want to miss out, and they're afraid, their own team's going to leave them anyway if they don't. So why, either fight it or join it, right, kind of thing, or whatever. But I chatted with a lady yesterday over lunch that has 25 years. She was in the same company for 25 years. And she's like, I just had to admit to myself the numbers weren't going the way I wanted to. Things were trending the wrong way, and I didn't want to miss something exciting and new and fresh, instead of just hanging on to what I've had for 25 years, which is crazy. Awesome to hear that, because that's pretty hard, right, when you're that entrenched and that established in a company. But and then other people who were in between, who've been around, and half the room, I swear, was either non-recruitable, or I'm retired, or I'm never doing it again, or I'm never going to do it in the first place. And there they were, right? So very impressive, very high caliber people. Not, and they weren't, like I said, there's not hype. It's just this quiet confidence of we've got something. And there's this gratefulness of we're here now. We know about this. This isn't a year from now. when we found out about this, or even 6 months from now, the way this is going to go. So I wanted to, and the reason those people are there, right? Here's something to really think about. They know what to look for. The reason they're there and they've made millions in this industry is they know what to look for, and there's a unique trifecta of things going on here that rarely happens. And if it does happen, you usually find about it, and I usually find out about it long after, and it's a story of the history of the company, not history in the making of the company. And so here's one of them. First, only, early. First product of its kind, the only product of its kind. We're the only game in town. There's no legitimate competition for this product that you can compare. Injections are the only thing, right? That's even close, and that's thousands of dollars a month. Side effects, needles, and black market. So that's obviously not anything relevant for competition. And so one of the people I met, he said that's how he gets people's attention on the business side. He says the first, only, and early. First of product of its kind, the only product of its kind, and we're early to the game. And he says, and for extra measure, there's a 90+% historical reorder rate on this product over a 14-year track record. And another one is 24/16 exclusive. It's a 26-year-old company with a 14-year-old product track record, and we have total exclusivity on it. No one else has it. You can't get it anywhere else. And it has FDA registration with zero downside or zero complaints on record at the FDA. It's squeaky clean after 7 years of them. They've been monitoring and thousands of people on the product, which is the number one concern, right, with HGH. No, there's not really any reason to debate whether HGH is good and works, because Google can tell anyone that doesn't even know very quickly. They only debate its safety, or thousands of dollars a month, but the safety is a concern. It's not a concern here. There's zero hesitation on the number one probably reason beyond financial to hesitate on taking injections. And so those are a couple things just to keep in mind that we should use. First, only, early, and then an added bonus of 90+% reorder rate, which is insane in business, in any kind of business, in any product. And then 26/14 exclusive. So another thing, looking for clues for confidence, right? And because there's unknowns, there's some unknowns. It's a new company, so there's the obvious unknowns of any new company, but you have to be okay with some unknowns in order to be in the early stage ground floor of something new. It doesn't matter if it's this company or any company. That would always be the case, right? Working for a company with a job that's a new company would be the case. So that's just, it is what it is, right? If you want everything ironed out, and if Troy said this in one of his breakout sessions, he says if you want everything perfect, you want customer service that's amazing, and you want no problems and perfect brochures and everything's great, and he says then go join Shackley or Amway. You'll have no problems, right? But the other thing is confidence in the product, right? So I don't have a product experience. Most of the people there don't have a product experience. It's really not necessary. We have to make sure we don't fake ourselves out during this period of time. And even long term, your product experience is not relevant to the equation. It's relevant to you personally, but you can gain confidence and have conviction on the product without that, because we already do it all the time, right? We buy stuff on Amazon based on reviews of other people that we don't know saying it's good, right? And there's things you can't try before you buy all the time. You can't try a boat out before you buy it, right? We buy all kinds of things. You buy a TV and bring it home, put it in your house, and you spend $1,000 and you're not sure if you're going to like it until you get home and it's too late. So that's really not true. And on top of it, it's only a $140 decision, and it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So no one else has to hinge on your results. You can have conviction to help people with this product without your personal story being what it hinges on, because it's not hinging on that at all. They don't really care that much. They care about their story, not yours. And on top of it, send them to a Facebook page. That Facebook Girls Club testimonial page, 100,000 people have joined that page, liked it, joined it, whatever. I've been added to it since they stopped shipping product. Okay, just let's let that sink in for a minute, right? And read those stories. Let the stories that are, and that's about to become a mountainous barrage of stories once 20,000 more people who are waiting get the product and start taking it. I met a guy there who has been in the business 73 days as of a couple days ago, and they just passed 1,000 people on the 73rd day, and only 12 people in their entire group have ever had the product. So we could wait until sometime in August when we have product. You can, but not necessary. You miss a lot of momentum, and there's an incredible window of what's about to happen is in front of us, right? We're about to open it up. You can't even get product yet. Like, let's use it as an advantage and let the facts that are out there speak for themselves and get it off of us. In fact, it may be an advantage to not have someone's ability to share the product based on their personal results, because that tends to trip people up and slow everything down anyway. So, third thing I'll talk about is corporate team. One guy they brought in, Ken Burgess, has made $20 million in network marketing. He's owned his own company. He's been a master distributor several times, recently, as of a couple weeks ago, in a competing company, and a consultant to MLM companies. Well, he's here. And when I got to meet him, I asked him what guy, because I didn't know anything about him. And I said, what caught your eye to bring you here? Because I didn't even know he was working for corporate. I thought he was just here as a distributor. He said, HGH. He said, HGH is the only game in town. He says, I've been involved in it for a few years. He said, I've done my homework. He says, I know it's the biggest emerging trend in health that's about to hit. And it's going to go from Hollywood popularity and, that kind of thing to average everyday people getting a hold of it. And he said, and this product is the best there is. I said, what convinced you of that? He said, because I was with another company who had a version of a HGH product. And he said, that product took 30 days to get results typically. He said, this product is a matter of a few days. And that product had 2 hours. You had to have an empty stomach in order to take the product twice a day. And people wouldn't do it. And then they wouldn't get results because they couldn't figure out to remember to not eat for 2 hours and then take it. So So that was a little clue of confidence, right? Another one is Bruce Levitin. I'm not sure how you say his name. I haven't seen it in writing yet, so I don't know how to pronounce it. But total stud corporate guy. Came in to run operations. Alex doesn't pretend to be a corporate operations guy. Doesn't want to be. He's a product savant. He's a mad scientist, and he's a brilliant one. So we want him doing that. But Bruce, on the other hand, he's made a speech or a talk yesterday, and he said I feel like I've been prepared for this moment my whole career. This is a guy who worked for Home Depot when they had less than 200 stores, helped them expand to thousands of stores, ran entire divisions like the West Coast with like a $5 billion budget and 22,000 employees, and he's run operations in network marketing. And so we're in good hands. He's total brilliant. Like, you just let out oh, we're in good hands. Listen to this guy. This guy's a baller. So a lot of things like that are going on behind the scenes. They hired a corporate attorney for the company. Get this. He formerly wrote rules and regulations for the FDA. Come on. and they have another employee coming on who used to work for the FTC. So they're not playing around because they realize about the only thing that could possibly slow this down is a breach of compliance in the FDA and FTC. But the great thing is we're already operating out in the open, wide open in front of them. Right? This isn't in the shadows and we're trying to get away with something. We're already on the radar, openly on the radar for 7 years. So they're just trying to keep it that way and try to put things in place to keep, all of us who get too excited and say more than we should or say things we shouldn't. Fourth thing is comp plan. I don't pretend to be a comp plan expert, but there's people there who are. That's their main thing they look at, and there's a lot of money in this plan. In fact, when Bruce was on stage, he made a comment about it. He's like, this pay plan's a little rich. He says, but trust me, we're not going to change it. I don't believe in that. He says, but we're paying more than we should be, but it's sustainable because the product is extremely profitable to make, partly because he's got such economies of scale because of all his relationships in the industry. So they can scale up quickly, and obviously then production costs goes down. So not a problem for long-term sustainability, just a really awesome thing for the ability to make money quickly, get people's attention when they're new, get them profitable, and then in every stage of the plan, whether it's early, mid, or long-term, it's kind of wild what the numbers is, and we'll save that for a different conversation. But the other thing is team, not just the corporate team, but the team we're a part of. We're in the most stacked team I got to meet all the people, and I just feel so blessed, and like we are so fortunate. Not just an awesome product, an awesome company, awesome timing, awesome compensation plan, but the major X factor that I've never had before, ever, is a completely dedicated, brilliant, active, accessible team in the trenches building it. Laura, who's in our upline, got the first ever corporate award for, I forget what it's called. I'm sure you can see it on the Facebook pages. Something like, dedication or commitment or something like that. And I was texting back and forth. She couldn't make it because of some family things going on, but she's like texting me while we're there. Like, that's how present they are. Like, hey, how's it going? Got any tidbits for me? So, product. Okay, people want this product, no question. I mean, you can try it. Send 10 people that 3-minute video and say, check out this 3-minute video. Oh my gosh, you're gonna freak out. And then tell them, download. Go to the Learn More button and download the product brochure and read through that. People are ready to buy it without even knowing the price. It's the craziest thing. People just want this. And so, by the way, a quick little tip on there. So that's a really good 1-2 step, 3-minute video, and then click the Learn More, or the whatever the button is on there that opens up to the PDF, the product brochure, the product booklet. Brochure is probably not the best for probably booklet because it's a couple pages long. It's profound that if someone actually read through that, just tell them where to put their credit card. It's over. By the way, as for you, not for guests that you send there, when you go to that team login area on there, put in lowercase HGH is the password, and there's some great training videos in there. If you haven't seen those yet, or if you haven't heard how to get in there, take advantage of that. There's some really good stuff in there. So the other thing about product, so we heard testimonials yesterday, and I mean, I've been around testimonials before, but I'll say this. So we had a 2-hour meeting with Alex Thursday night, private meeting in a suite with the master distributor, Joe Giuliano, number 1 earner in the company, Chris Cavanaugh, number 2 earner in the company, Troy, and they're all in our upline, and Alex, and about 10 of us from the team. And so we just had 2 hours to talk with him. And he's just unfiltered, believable. Like, he just is who he is. He's not trying to pretend he's something. I mean, he honestly probably tells you too much, considering we're networkers and we want to run with every little piece of information we have. But he's just not a stuffy corporate guy. He's a product guy who's just deeply in love with the product and wants to touch people and help people, and it's so obvious. Wait till you see. By the way, I videoed the whole event yesterday, and I'm going to upload it, and you can watch his speech, and you'll feel it for sure. But he talked about how he originally formulated the product for athletes, for friends, to get them off of injecting testosterone and juicing, and whether they were MMA fighters or bodybuilders or people like that out in California. And he's really good friends with the Gracie family from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu kind of fame. And then it got in the hands of women who work out, and then it got in the hands of women who work out who are over 40. He says that's when things blew up. So the point of that is 70-80% of the crowd was women, not many under 40. And so that may end up staying that way, I would suspect. The only reason I'm bringing that up is there was something about the testimonials from women, and there was like this raw woman power, I guess is the way to say it. And I think it's because, once you're past 30, the cascade of problems and drama that come from hormonal issues in everyone, but specifically women, it just seems to be a compounded effect. Alex said, he says, women will get a faster result and a more elaborate result than men. He says, not that men don't enjoy it, and I heard lots of those stories too, but there's an intensity to how women experience this product. And one of the ways that it showed up was they did some recognition of coaches, and they'll never be able to recognize coaches again because there was already 150 of them, and to going across stage, but or at least not recognize them with stage time because it'll take forever. But when they went across stage, it wasn't just like a congratulations hug. They were like embracing Alex, like "You saved my life" kind of embrace. I was like, what's going on? Like long lost friends, like, oh my gosh, it's been forever. Like they're just meeting him for the first time. And then after the meeting, the same thing. He's standing there, and there was like a crowd of like 50 women around him. Mostly, there's some guys in there, but 80% women. And they would just lose it when they had a chance to start telling him what it's done for him. Like they couldn't get crying, and like I'm like, hold it together. But I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. When we built Zango, there was amazing stories, but this is a whole nother level of people just absolutely freaking out about how it's changed their life. And no one's been on the product very long, right? I mean, no one's been on the product more than 3, 4, 5 months at the most. Most people, half people there were on it, a couple months or not at all. The other thing about Alex, okay, so he just really bleeds for this. This is his life's work. He's so passionate about it, and it's all coming together for him, right? He's been waiting for this, his whole career. But he's formulated over 650 products. He's got lots of tricks up his sleeve. He's got I asked him, I said, Alex, do you have other FDA registered over-the-counter products? And he kind of smiled, and he turned his head to his side. He says, we're not supposed to talk about that. And I'm like, okay, thanks, now I know. But I knew that was the truth because Troy already told me he's got at least 4 that he knows of that are already FDA registered, which is wild. Having one is amazing, but having a bunch of them sitting on the shelf waiting. And he's working in the NFL right now with this product, and he says that he's a lot of NFL guys on it in the off season. And one of the things they did this last summer was they would be trying it and then having their trainer test their blood to make sure it wasn't showing up. And he says it disappears from their blood within hours. So he said there's no issues with anyone in sports taking it. So he says they're all rapidly adapting it in the NFL, which is pretty wild. They have a lot of pain issues in the NFL, and obviously they need the recovery and all the other benefits of HGH. There's a reason why people risk their careers to take the illegal HGH and substances, because they work, right? Why else would they take them? So here they can get the benefits without the drama, the danger, and the side effects and stuff. But so I guess I don't want to go on. It's already been a 20-minute video, so just wanted to share kind of the energy, what's happening. Hopefully it made some sense. But I told 2 people this yesterday, and I kind of want to end with this. I talked to some new people, and I said, you're going to remember this conversation one way or another. I hope it's for the right reason. This is moving fast, and I'll, me, anyone who's sharing this with people, will be proven right about this from a business perspective and from a product perspective quickly. And so there's no reason to hesitate. You waste precious time. Don't squander this gift. Okay, that's my commitment to myself. Is don't squander a minute of this. And that's my encouragement to you: is don't squander this gift, and don't slow down for anyone who wants to miss it now. Come back to them later and just keep moving. People are ready for this from a product. People are ready for this from a business. You'd be shocked once you start to share with people. This story just is a story that needs to be told, and it's ready to be told. And it's an easy story to tell, and it's going to be amazing. And so look forward to what lies ahead for sure. It's going to be amazing, and can't wait to do it with you. So talk to you soon. Bye.